Hello everyone and welcome to today's TV4Education teacher training. My name's Abby and I'll be taking you through the basics of the system today. So today we'll be going through the homepage of TV4Ed, all of the different categories on there, from the TV4Ed content, the lessons content, as well as the YouTube content, how to search through TV4Ed by just normal smart searches, title searches, or through a subject search, how to register your interest areas, how to save all of this content to your school collection and your My Items, how to share that content with your students, as well as how to request with us, as well as how to go through the lessons. So if you have any questions at any point throughout the session, just pop them in the chat to my right and I'll get to them as soon as I can. So we'll move on, I'll share my screen with you. So we'll start on the TV4Ed homepage. So you can see here, you've got the search bar up here, as well as some different categories here, which I'll go through in a moment. And you can also scroll down and see all the different video content and the lessons content. So the first category up here is recently added. So this is obviously all the most recently added content to TV4Ed. So this is all content that has been requested by teachers from schools around the country, and also content that has been added to the system based on the Australian curriculum by our TV4Ed research team. So you can scroll across these bars here, and if you want to see more than just what you can scroll through, you can click view all here. If you hover over a program, it will play for you. I'll just mute my computer. If you hover over a program, it will play an excerpt of that program for you. It will have sound. You can't hear the sound right now because I did just mute my computer. And you'll also be able to see some of the details of the program, when it aired, the channel that it aired on, as well as the description and so on and so forth. If you click on the video, it will automatically play for you. The information will automatically come up. So you'll be able to see once again what channel it aired on, when it aired, the duration, time, as well as what it's been tagged with. So you can use these tags for a subject search, which I'll show you how to do in a second. So you can mute and unmute down here. You can make it full screen from here, and you can also, obviously play, pause, and you can skip through the program if you want as well. So if you see this program and you think it is something that you want to show to your students, so you can save it to My Items. So what you do is you go over to the right here where this little star button is, where my cursor is. You click on it, it does a little twirl, and then you get a pop-up letting you know that it has been added to your items, which I will show you how to access in a minute. It's also worth noting everything with this little CC here means that it has been recorded with closed captions. If it doesn't have that CC, then it isn't a copy of the program with captions. So if we click on this program here, we can see that it has been recorded with the captions on, as you can see there. So I was just showing you before how to just subject search. So if you click on one of these categories, it will come up with all of the programs that fit that specific category. So if we go to this movie here, as you can see, it's been tagged with English. If I click on that, it will search through all of the English content on TV4Ed, and it goes from most recently added. And that you can do that for anything. So this one, if I click movie, it will come up with all the movies content. If I click, I saw one with closed captions before. If you click the closed captions one, it will come up with all the closed captions content. So if you click that, it will come up with all the closed captions content, etc. You can do a subject search up in this bar later where my cursor is, but I'll show you that a bit later on. But if you are just browsing through the content and you do see that a program has been tagged with a subject or a genre that you think you want to search through, you can just click on that and it will search through TV4Ed and bring up all of the content that has been tagged with that for you. So that is how to go through the most recently added content. If we scroll down, the next category under most recently added is Learning Tube, which is comprised of short educational videos based on the Australian curriculum that have been curated by our TV4Ed research team. So just like before, you can scroll through this way, or you can click the View All button here and it will come up with most recently added Learning Tube content for you to scroll through. And just like before, if you hover over the video, it'll play an excerpt. You'll see the description and whatnot, and you'll be able to add it to your My Items from there as well. So the next two are documentaries and movies. So these are pretty self-explanatory. It's just a list of all the most recently added documentaries and movies to TV4Ed, and you can scroll down as far as you want if you click the view all buttons above each category. So these are categories because they're the most commonly requested and most popular kind of content on TV4Ed. So if you're just wanting to look through films, you can scroll across that way or click view all. And if you're only wanting to look at documentaries, you can do the same for the documentaries tab. And just like before, you can click on these, you can add them to my items. You can also share them from here, but I will go through sharing a bit later after I show you where to find all the saved content. But the share button is just below the add to my items button on the right if you are looking for it. So under movies and documentaries, you have Curated YouTube and YouTube. So this is a way for you to search through YouTube through TV4Ed. Everything will play from a blank screen so that if you're playing it to your students, or if you share it with your students and you want them to watch it in their study period per se, they won't be able to see any YouTube comments. There won't be any ads that pop up, full screen ads that pop up before and during the video because they might be distracting, inappropriate, or just not educational. So it works the same as TV4Ed. You just hover over the program, it'll play. If you click on it, it'll automatically come up with all the info. You can scroll through it down here. Because it is playing through YouTube, you can turn captions on and off here if the video is available on YouTube with captions. You can also change the settings, so you can turn the subtitles on and off there. So there's some different options for languages, so you can have the language be in Portuguese if you want. You can change the playback speed, you can turn the annotations on and off, you can change the video quality, etc. You can make it full screen down here as well. And you've also got some of the YouTube buttons up here as well. So you can click share up here, and this will share just the YouTube link. So this isn't the same as sharing through TV4Ed, although you can also do that with this button here, which once again I'll show you later. You can click the watch later button, and that will save it to your YouTube's watch later. So if you are browsing through TV4Ed and there is something that you see that you want to add to your watch later on YouTube, you don't have to change back over to YouTube. If you are logged in on YouTube on this computer, as you can see, I'm logged in as Abby Thorpe currently. If you click that, it'll automatically save it to your watch later on YouTube. So the difference between curated YouTube and normal YouTube is that normal YouTube is just all of the content that is currently available on YouTube, whereas curated YouTube is all educational content that has been curated by our TV4Ed team. So if you want to narrow down your search a bit, if you're only looking for, say, an educational program like this one, which is Crash Course Literature, you'll be able to narrow it down that way by just searching through curated YouTube. So you can also search through YouTube by clicking this little YouTube button up the top here where my cursor is, and it will take you straight to YouTube and curated YouTube. So if you just click the TV4Ed button here as well, it will take you to recently added. So you can see all the recently added by clicking the view all on the recently added tab, or you can just click the TV4Ed button here, and then you won't see the home screen with all of the different categories. So there are some other tabs which I'll go through in a moment after I've finished going through YouTube. So you search through YouTube the same way you would search through TV4Ed. So how you search through TV4Ed is you go to Home or TV4Ed, and you can search up here. So you can just search for, let's say, Jane Austen. It'll come up with all the Jane Austen content. So the smart search will search through the title, the description, what it's been tagged with, etc. Whereas if you go to title, it will only search through the title. So as you can see, all that content before that didn't have Jane Austen in the title, but maybe in the description, or it had been tagged with her name, came up. So if you're wanting to narrow down your search a bit, you can narrow it down with a title search. You can also do that with subject, author, and series as well. And you can also do an advanced search here, where you can search the media type, what channel it aired on, the date, etc., if you want to do it that way as well. So back to YouTube, so it works the exact same way. So as you can see, I've searched title, so it's only coming up with all the YouTube videos with Jane Austen in the title. Whereas if I go back to smart search, it will come up with everything that has it in the YouTube description, or maybe it's tagged on YouTube as being relevant to Jane Austen. So you can do it that way. You can add these things to your My Items on TV4Ed, just like you would any TV4Ed content. So if you click on this video here, which is about Lydia and Mr. Wickham, two characters, so it's a character analysis of those two characters in Pride and Prejudice, you just go to the star button again, click it, does its little twirl, and then it will add it to your My Items as well. So works exactly the same as if you were doing it with a regular TV4Ed video. So that's YouTube and Curated YouTube. So the next, also make sure if you've clicked YouTube up here, you don't try and search for a TV4Ed video, because if you search for a film that you know is available on TV4Ed, it won't come up because you've clicked the YouTube tab here. You'll have to go back to TV4Ed or Home to do that. And then the same with lessons as well. So if I click lessons here, you can see nothing's come up because I've got Jane Austen in there, whereas if I just get rid of that, it comes up with all the lessons that we have available. So you can find the lessons by scrolling to the very bottom of the TV4Ed homepage. It's the last category down the bottom, and you can scroll across or click view all, or you can click the lessons tab up here, and it will give you all the lessons that we currently have. These are lessons all created by our TV4Ed team, either based on requests from teachers or just extra requests that they've made while searching through the Australian curriculum. So they're color-coded. We have 3 different types of smart lessons. We have the resource lists, which are these blue ones here. These are just resources about whatever subject it's on. So you see this one, Jackson Pollock. This is going to be resources just based on him and his art. So it will be TV4Ed videos, maybe YouTube videos, links to articles, PDF files, etc., etc. And same with every other one. So this one will just be on spray painting art. This one will just be on medieval knights and samurai. So those are all the blue ones. Some of the covers aren't coming up. I believe my internet is a bit slow, so they're not coming up. So I'll just search for some that I know we have so I can show you the covers. So this one here has a green cover, so this means it's a video lesson. So video lessons they have about 5 videos in them, TV4Ed videos and maybe YouTube videos as well, with about 5 to 10 questions that go along with the videos in the lesson. So these are multiple choice questions, they are yes and no questions, as well as missing word questions. So if there is a statement made, let's say in one of the documentaries in the lesson, and you're showing this in the classroom, if your students are listening to that documentary, as they should be if they're in class, they'll hear whatever fact the person in the documentary has said, and they'll be able to look at the questions and see that that is a question, and they'll be able to tick the right answer or type in the right word as well. So you can request any smart lessons with us as well, whether it be resource lists or video lessons, through the making a topic request with us, which I'll show you how to do a bit later on. So the last kind of lesson that we have are the ones with the purple covers. So these are study guides. So these are comprised of whatever video that the study guide is based around, whether that be a TV series, a documentary, a movie, etc. In this case, it's a documentary. So it will have this documentary in it, as well as the study guide that goes along with that documentary. And you can download that study guide, or you can print it off, or do whatever you want with it. So if you're a teacher that likes to teach through study guides, just look for the lessons with the purple covers, or you can go to the lessons tab and then search through the lessons to see if there is a study guide on our system available for whatever movie it is that you're watching. And if there isn't, well, once again, you can request and see if we can add one for you through a topic request if you would like. So that is all the lessons, how to search through the lessons. If you want to add these to your My Items, you just click Add to My Library like we were doing before, and they'll add those to your My Library. And that's how you'll be able to actually access the content in the resource lists and the lessons, as well as the questions and study guides in the lessons as well, which I'll show you how to do next up. So you can also do a subject search through TV4Ed. So once again, I'll make sure I'm on the home page for TV4Ed, so the content that I want comes up. So you can search through different genres if you want. As you can see, you can search through news programs, musicals, lifestyle programs, documentaries, films, TV shows, etc. Or you can search through it as a subject. So I just clicked new videos, so it's showing me all of the latest TV4Ed. So that's all the most recently added, like we were looking at before. So I can click STEM, and then I can say, oh, I just want some biology content. If I click on that, it will show you all the biology content that you can get on TV4Ed, and it goes by most recently added as well, so you can see all the newest content. So that's another way to do a subject search if you're not already on a video and you happen to see something that the video is tagged with. So the very last tab up the top here is interest areas. So when you first log into TV4Ed, this will automatically pop up on your screen, and it's just letting you know to register your interest areas with us so that when you search through TV4Ed, we can tailor the content so that it is relevant to you. So if you just click on secondary up here, so if I click on secondary and none of the other audience categories, it won't show me any primary content or higher education content. It will just show me content that has been flagged as secondary in the system. So you won't see any content that's not relevant to you. It works the same way with the subjects. So if I click on English, it will only show me content that has been tagged as English. And you can click as many as you want as well. So if you teach primary and secondary, once again, you can do that. You can click as many subjects as you want. You don't need to save anything. As you click on and off, it will automatically save for you. And then you just hit close. And now when you search through TV4Ed, it will search based on your interest areas. If you want to change them at any point, there's no issues. After you've registered your interest areas, that will no longer pop up on your screen. But if you just go to the interests button on the top right and click it, you can change them to your leisure. So you can do this as often as you want and as many times as you want. There's no problems, and it will always be automatically saved for you. So we've gone through all of the different categories on the TV4Ed homepage, as well as all the different searches that you can do, as well as all the different tabs up here. So next I'll take you to My Items, which where all of the content I was saving has gone to. So if you click on My Items at the top of the screen, it will come up with all of the items that you have saved while you've been going through TV4Ed. So if you look on the side here, it's got these tabs, and it's letting me know I've saved 83 TV4Ed programs, 16 YouTube programs, and I've saved 27 lessons. So all of these tabs are popped up right now, which means it's showing me all the content I've saved. Whereas if I click off lessons, it stops showing me the lessons. If I click off TV4Ed, now it's just showing me all the YouTube content I've saved. So I can click on the TV4Ed, now it's just showing me all the TV4Ed videos. If I click here, it's showing me all the lessons. So it's just one way to filter through if you want to be able to search easier. You can also click the filter button up here. So you can do a keyword search here if you want. So if I search for Gold Rush, I see I've got 2 lessons saved as Gold Rush, so I don't have to sift through my items to find them. You can also change the way it's ordered, so you can order it by the date, or you can order it by the title. You can make it ascending or descending, so basically the date that it has been added, so whether it's most recently added or the earliest added. And you can also change it from a picture view to a list view if you find that that's easier to look at for you. So to view any of the programs, you just click on them. So this YouTube video that we saved before, if I click on it, just like when I'm playing it through the TV4Ed homepage or search page, it will automatically play for you, and it's got all the same buttons that it did before. So you can make it full screen, you can skip through, you can change the closed captions if it's a YouTube video. You can't do that with TV4Ed videos. And then the same with just a normal TV4Ed video. So this film we saved before, once again, comes up with all of the info, and you can make it full screen and you can mute it, everything exactly the same. If there's anything here that you don't think you need anymore, there's no issues. What you can do is you can just click this little rubbish bin icon here that I'm circling my cursor around. Once you click that, it'll delete it from your My Items. And you can always add that back to your My Items later if you want to. There's no stress about that. So this is one of the lessons that we saved earlier. I believe this was a resource list. So if I click on this, it will open it up in a new tab. And as you can see, you can now see all of the resources that are listed in this resource list. So there's some videos here. I believe these are TV4Ed and YouTube videos. And then you've got some PDF files, and then looks like links to article. This is a link to an article as well. So that's just some of the things that are available. So if I click on the PDF, it will bring up the PDF file for me. You'll have to forgive me, my internet's a bit slow. So this one, yes, is once again a PDF. So as you can see, it loads the PDF for you, and then you can download it, save it, print it, whatever you want to do from there. And then the same with the videos. Once again, you just click on it and they'll automatically play for you. Exactly the same they did in all of the other players that I was showing you before. You can also edit these lessons if you want. So if I click this delete button here, it will delete a video. I can change where the videos are. So if I click the up and down rows, say you want the students to watch this video before the one at the top, you can click the up and down rows and they'll move them how they're listed in the lesson. So if I get out of those. So now I'll show you, now that we've gone through my items and how to search through it, I'll show you how to share this content with your students. So let's say that you want your students to view this video, which is a character analysis of Lydia and Wickham from Pride and Prejudice. You just go to this button here, which is underneath the star button that we were using to save everything to our My Items before. So you go to the button underneath that. You can also do this just from TV4Ed. So if you just have found the program on TV4Ed and you don't want to save it to your My Items, you can just share it from there. You don't need to save it to your My Items first. But I'm just doing it this way so I could show you how to access your My Items first. So we'll come up with you 2 categories for you to fill out. So let's say you want to share this with your Year 10 students. You click Year 10 there. So that will share it with Year 10 students and above. So make sure you click the lowest possible class grade. If you want to share it to multiple class grades, and let's say you wanted to share this with Year 11s and 10s, and you clicked Year 11, Year 10s won't be able to see that. Whereas if you click Year 10, it will show it to Year 10 and above. And then there's the link expiry. So let's say this is something you want to quiz your students on in the next class. So today's the 17th of June. You could click, say, the 18th of June so that they watch it at home before then. Or it could be a resource that you want them to have up until their exams at the end of the year. So you can make the end date the end of the year. So the 31st of the 12th, the very end of the year, you want it to be available to them that whole time. That means they'll be able to view it all throughout the year rather than just say for a month or a couple of days. Once you've filled out those 2 categories, it will automatically provide you with the share link that you can give to your students so that they can view the YouTube video or the TV4Ed program or the lesson. It also gives you an embed code which you can put into your into your school's learning management system if you would like to, and it also gives you a QR code if you want to share it with your students that way as well. So as I said, that works the same with YouTube videos, TV4Ed videos, and also the smart lessons as well. So that's everything to go through with My Items and sharing. Next up, I'll take you to your school collection and show you how to go through that. If at any points you have any questions about any of the things I've just gone through, please pop them in the chat and I'll get to them as I'm going through your school collection. So to get to the school collection, you just click this button up here, which is just 2 over from the My Items, and it'll bring up your school collection. So the difference between the school collection and the My Items is that My Items is all of the programs, smart lessons, etc. that you have personally saved on TV4Ed, whereas the school collection is everything that all of the teachers that use TV4Ed at your school have saved. So you can see here that we have the programs and the smart lesson that we saved before. And if you scroll down, you can see all of the different programs that all the staff at your school have saved. So if you want to see what your fellow teachers are teaching, you can scroll through and see it that way. And you can see obviously the channels that they were on, whether it's a TV4Ed program or a YouTube program, what channel it aired on, so in this case ABC2, and you can also see the rating as well. So you can do a smart search through here if you want to. You can also do, a title search, etc. Same thing as TV4Ed, it just will only search through your school collection and not all of TV4Ed. You can also do an advanced search here as well through your school collection. You can change the view here if you want. So if you think a list view works better for you, you can do that, or you can have the picture view or an even smaller picture view as well. So you just click on the programs and it will automatically play for you just like it did everywhere else. And you can save it to your My Items from here and share it from here and do whatever you want from here basically. So that is the school's collection. Next up, I will go through on how to request free-to-air Foxtel content with us, as well as topic requests. So if you have any questions about My Items or the school collection, or just anything else that I've gone through, please pop them in the chat and I'll get to them as soon as I can. But if no one has any questions for me to answer right now, I will just get on to the requests. So I will say, before you request anything with us, make sure you search through TV4Ed first. We have about a 48-hour turnaround for us to get the programs back to you. So if you request something with us that is actually already available on TV4Ed, you have to wait 48 hours. Whereas if you just search through TV4Ed and you happen to find it, you can immediately add it to your My Items, you can immediately play it to your classroom, or you can immediately share it with your students. Whereas if you request it with us, you'll have to wait 48 hours for us to get back to you, basically just to show you that we already had it on the system. So always search through first. If you search through and you can't find the program, then by all means request with us, there's no issues. Even if it's something that you don't think is educational, there's teachers all over the country that are teaching the same content as you, so always have a search first, because it's quite often that teachers request the same things, thinking that no other teachers would have requested it before. So always make sure you search first, because then you can have the program immediately rather than having to wait for us to get back to you. But if you have had a look through and we don't have the program, by all means, request with us. So if you go to the top left where my cursor is and click that button there, it'll come up with a sidebar and you go down to the mailbox. Now, when you go to your mailbox, it'll immediately take you to support tickets. Make sure you don't create a support ticket with us, because that will take you through to our support team, not through to the TV4Ed team that process all of your requests. So make sure you go to the TV4Ed requests button. This just makes sure it's all correct on our system and we get the program to you as quickly as possible. If you accidentally put a support ticket in, we'll have to manually create the request for you, which will add time to when we can actually get your request to you. So to make it easier for us and quicker for you, click the TV4Ed requests button. So you can see all of the previous requests that you've made and the status that they're in, as well as the date that you submitted them. So this one here, you can see it says completed, which means we've got the program to you. And when we actually send the program to you, it will come up with a message in the request, and you can play the program from here, or you can add it to your My Items from here as well. So if we scroll up, these are all completed. Let's try and see if we have any that aren't completed. So this one here says new, which means that we haven't got to this request yet. And this one here is scheduled, which means it's been scheduled to one of our recording boxes. And as soon as it is, it will be recorded for you. If it says assigned, it means it's been assigned to one of our team and we'll get it to you within 48 hours. If it says edited, it means we have, if it says copied, it means that the program has aired and it's ready for us to edit. If it says named, it means that it has been edited and it's currently uploading. And if it says ready to catalog, it means it's just ready to go on the system and it's nearly ready for you to have. So you can keep track of what status they're in through here if you want. You can also type messages through us. So if we click on this here, you can, and you see that, oh, actually I don't want this program anymore, you can type that to us in here and click the little paper plane. Or if you see that it's airing at a different time, or maybe you accidentally got something wrong when you submitted it, you can let us know here, click the little paper plane and it will send us a message. And then we'll be able to get back to you in the same sort of message chat that goes along with the request. So going up to the very top, if you want to actually make a new request, you click the Make a Request button. Something that I just forgot to mention, you can also filter through your requests this way. So you can filter through just topic requests, just requests that are new, or you can have all requests like we've got at the moment. Now that we've gone through that, we'll now go to Make a Request. So when you click Make a Request, it comes up with 3 different requests that you can submit with us. So a free-to-air request is just any programs that are currently airing on free-to-air that are going to air in the future or within the last 90 days. We keep all of our free-to-air files for the last 90 days. So if something has aired within that time, we'll still be able to get it for you. If it is outside of that time, say it's 4 months ago maybe that something aired, you can still request with us. You'll just get a little automated message letting you know that it isn't within the correct time period, but we'll still do our best to get it to you. So as I said, if it's outside of that 3-month period, don't stress, still submit with us. It's just to be guaranteed the program, make sure it's either something that's airing in the future or that has aired within the last 3 months. So the premium channels request is all of the channels that are available on Foxtel currently. So if you've got the Foxtel TV guide up and you want to you see something on there that's not on TV4Ed that you want to request, go to the premium channels request. We do have a time limit on this as well. They have to be submitted 48 hours in advance. So let's say it's airing at 12 p.m. on Thursday. That request would need to be submitted at 12 p.m. on Tuesday. If you aren't within the 48 hours, again, don't stress. You'll just get an automated message letting you know that, and we'll still do our very best to get it to you. So don't stress. It's just to be guaranteed the program. It needs to be 48 hours prior that you submit the request. If you do see that there is another airing of said program in a couple of days, don't feel the need to pop in another request for that. We will see that when we're going through the TV guide, and we'll automatically move the program over for you if we can't get it at the earliest time it's airing because the request was submitted late. We can immediately move that for you, so don't make another request. If you do just want to let us know, you can type in that little bar I was showing you before, and that will send us a message just letting us know, oh hey, this is actually airing again in 2 days, are you able to shift it to then? And we'll be able to do it for you. But don't pop in another request. We'll still be able to give you the program through the first request you submitted. And then we've got topic requests. So this is for if you're not looking for a specific program. This is for if you're teaching a topic to your students. Let's say your students are currently reading poetry by Edgar Allan Poe. You can just submit a topic request with us and say, hey, I'm just looking for some resources that talk about analysing Edgar Allan Poe's poetry. And we'll send you through some TV4Ed or YouTube videos. You can also request smart lessons this way. So let's say you didn't just want us to send you the videos, you actually wanted us to make a resource list for you. You could say, oh, can I have this in a resource list with videos as well as some PDF files maybe. Or you could say, I want it as a video lesson with some multiple choice questions, or maybe if there's a study guide for a specific documentary on Edgar Allan Poe that you're watching, you can submit it that way as well. So that's for smart lessons as well as just general requests for programs that are related to the topic that you're teaching. You can also use this for individual programs, but this is only in the case where you can't submit it through free-to-air and Foxtel. So let's say a specific documentary, you've looked through TV4Ed and we don't have it, and it's not airing on free-to-air in the future. It hasn't aired on free-to-air in the last 90 days or at all recently that you can see. It's not airing on Foxtel in the future and hasn't recently. You don't know if it is even airing anymore, but you just still want to check with us to see if we are still able to get the program for you. You can submit that as a topic request, but make sure you only do that in those specific circumstances. If it is a free-to-air or a Foxtel program that's airing currently or has just recently aired, please submit it as a free-to-air or Foxtel request. It makes it easier for our system, it makes it easier for us, and if you submit them in the correct categories, it means we can get the programs to you as quickly as possible. So make sure you only use topic requests for specific programs in that specific manner. So I'll take you through how to create the requests now. If I click free-to-air request, it will come up with all the channels I can request from. If you do see a channel on here that's a channel that's not available on here, don't stress, just click another channel. We always check all the channels to make sure that we've got, that we're recording on the right channel, the right time, etc. So you can just click another channel, and then you can also just let us know with that little message box I was showing you before. So let's say it's something that's airing on NITV. You click NITV and it comes up with all the information you need to fill out. Everything with the red star is things that are mandatory for you to fill out. So let's say you're requesting an episode of Living Black that airs on NITV. If you have the TV guide in front of you, you'll know what season and episode, or maybe it's a series that doesn't go by seasons and episodes, by which count you won't have to enter that. So let's say that we either aren't sure. If you're not sure, don't worry, this isn't mandatory for you to fill out, but if you do know, pop in season 2021 episode 18 if that's the episode it's up to, and it makes it easier for us. But if you don't know them, or if it is a program or a series that just obviously doesn't have that, you don't need to fill it out, there's no worries. So let's say it's airing tomorrow, you would click the 18th here, and then you have to submit the time. So this is in 24-hour time. So make sure, let's say it's airing at 8, make sure you click 20 for 8 p.m. If you just click 8, it will schedule it for 8 a.m. on our end. If you do mess that up, as I said, don't stress. We always double check anything and we'll be able to easily move that to 8 p.m. as soon as we notice it. So let's say it's airing at 10 past 8, you submit that, and then you put the duration in. So let's say it's going for half an hour. And then the last thing that you need to do before you submit is tick this little box if you want it recorded with captions. So if you tick this box and it is airing with captions, we'll be able to provide it to you with captions. If it's not, we'll let you know that it isn't available with captions currently. We'll get you the program without the captions, and then we'll add it to our recording list, which we check daily. So that in the future, let's say in a couple of weeks, we see, oh, it's available with captions now, we'll be able to record it and get it to you with captions. But don't stress too much about this. The vast majority of things on Free to Run Foxtel now are aired with captions available. So if they are available, we'll get them to you. That's the vast majority of the time. In the instances where that's not possible, as I said, we'll add it to our recording list and we'll get the program to you as soon as it is available with captions. So once you filled all that out, you just click submit and it will automatically submit it with us, and then you don't have to worry. We'll get it to you within 48 hours of it airing. So to make a Foxtel request is relatively the same. Obviously, there's a different list of channels to choose from. As I said before, if you see a channel that's not on here, don't stress. Just click another channel and you can always just let us know. So if you click History Channel here, something that's airing on History Channel that you want to request, you can click the History Channel, obviously. So let's say the program that you want to request is Catching History's Killers. And let's say that is airing on Saturday. You would go to Start Date and you would click Saturday, and then you would fill in all the different categories. Let's say it's episode 2 that you want, and then you fill in all the different categories. So let's say it's airing at 3 p.m. You click 13 and 00, and then the duration, it goes for 60 minutes. So you fill it out exactly the same as you would a free-to-air request. Same with the captions down here. If you want to record it with captions, click the box. If not, don't click it. So it works exactly the same way as a free-to-air request. It's just that you need to submit these 48 hours in advance. But as I said, if you are under that time frame, don't stress too much. We still might be able to get it scheduled for you in time. And if we can't, we can always just push it to a later date and record it then. So don't stress too much, but just make sure to be guaranteed the program as soon as possible. It needs to be 48 hours in advance. So once again, you click submit. It will automatically submit it with us, and you'll create one of these little chat windows, and you'll get messages every time the program has been scheduled, when it's been assigned, when it's been edited, and then when it's been uploaded as well. So the last request to go through is the topic requests. So this obviously looks a bit different to the previous two. The only thing that is mandatory for you to fill out, as you can see, is the subject. So let's say that the subject is history. In the target age group, you would either put the age of the students or the current year level that they are in, or both, just whichever you prefer. So you can say year 12, and you can put VCE if you want, and then say 17 to 18 if you want. Curriculum code objective, if you have the curriculum in front of you, you can either type the curriculum code in or copy and paste it if you have it up on your computer. This isn't mandatory for you to do by any means, but if you just do happen to have it with you and you think it will be helpful to be as specific as possible, you can pop it in there. So we can go to the Australian curriculum and then we can read exactly what it is that you're teaching. But if you don't have that, or if you're not teaching directly from the curriculum, you don't need to stress. So lesson aims, let's say that the lesson aim is to analyze historical propaganda. And then in the additional information, you can be as detailed as you want. You can let us know the kind of content that you want, what it is specifically that your students are doing, and also whether you want just general videos, or if you want a resource list or a video lesson, how many questions it is you want in your video lesson, what kind of questions, etc., etc. So I can say Chinese propaganda under Mao. And let's say you want a resource list, and then you can say you want both TV4Ed plus YouTube videos, and then you can say articles as well if available. So you can be as detailed as you want in that section. The more detailed you are, the more likely it is we'll be able to get the correct content for you, and we'll be able to tailor the content the best we can specifically to your needs. So once again, you just click submit. It will come up when we have completed your request. It will give you either the list of videos that we've provided for you, whether that be YouTube or TV4Ed or both, or it will just come up with which you can automatically play or add to your My Items, or it will come up with the smart lesson that we've created for you, whether that be a resource list, study guide, or a video lesson, and you can automatically add that to your My Items. As I said, you can also do this for individual programs, but only if you can't request it any other way. If it is a program that is currently airing, going to air in the future, or has very recently aired, please submit it in the other two categories. Makes it easier for everyone all around, and it makes sure you get the content as quickly as you possibly can. So once again, you just click submit on that, and we'll get the program or the list of videos or the smart lesson to you as soon as we can. So that's how to go through requests. That's the last thing I have to show you today. So if anyone has any questions before I head off, make sure you pop them in now so I can answer them before I leave today. So that is our TV4Ed teacher training for today. I hope you got something out of this lesson. Today we've gone through all the different categories on TV4Ed. I've gone through how to search through TV4Ed, through a smart search, title search, advanced search, subject search, etc. We've also gone through the lessons and the different categories of lessons that we have. We've gone through how to register your interest areas with us. We've gone through how to search through your My Items, how to save things to your My Items, how to save things to your school collection, how to search through your school collection. And we've also gone through how to share all of this content with your students. And then the last thing we went through was how to request with us, both free-to-air, Foxtel, and topic requests. So if you have any questions about any of that, pop them in the chat and I'll answer them before I leave. So that's our TV4Education teacher training for today. I'll see you next week for our next TV4Ed teacher training. If you did miss anything, if you came halfway through or towards the end, don't stress out. All of our trainings get uploaded to our YouTube channel afterwards, so you can go to our YouTube channel and see this training in full if you want. You can also see all of the previous trainings that we've done for both TV4Education and Smart Suite Library if you're a Smart Suite Library user as well. You can also see all of the different content that we've uploaded, just instructional videos maybe on how to use TV4Ed, or maybe just any updates or any new launches that we have. You can find that all on our Functional Solutions YouTube channel. And if you want to be notified when we upload a new video, or if you want to be notified as soon as we go live, so you can get here as soon as possible and you don't come halfway through, you can hit the subscribe button and then you can click the bell icon, so that will notify you as soon as we go live, so you can come here at the very start and not halfway through. You can also follow us on all of our different social media, both Functional Solutions and TV4Ed on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, where we give you updates on all of the different things that are currently going on with TV4Ed and Functional Solutions in general, as well as advertising all of the different content that we have available on TV4Ed. So if you go to TV4Education on Twitter, you can see all of the content that we're advertising, as well as any updates, so you can get them as soon as possible. So with all that being said, doesn't look like anyone has any more questions for me, so I'll head off now. So I'll see you next week for the next TV4Ed teacher training, and I hope everyone has a good day. Bye everyone.